Hi, Mark. Welcome around the Workstand.
Hey, Susie, how are you this week?
I'm doing okay. I'm a little tired. I didn't sleep so well last night.
Same.
Cool.
Same.
I'm the same. Well, what are we
Did,
talking about this week?
did you take your dog out to walk twice in the middle of the night last night? I did.
No, Clementine was securely snoogled in on the couch. So I have no excuse for my poor sleep.
Yes, Watts was not in a good place. He's been under the weather. He's been better, but I think we're still equalizing that. So he needed to go out at 1:30 and at 3. So I've been up since 1:30. Luckily, I have copious amounts of coffee, so I will be fine.
Wonderful.
And I think what I wanted to talk about this week, if it's okay with you, is something that comes up all the time. It's I'll call it inventory visibility online, but more broadly, it's I want to show up better in search. I want to win searches, etc. And so I thought we'd talk about that, kind of a quick primer, because no way can we cover all the details that come with that in our limited time. But how about that?
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, yeah, that's something we could talk about a little bit every week. Basically, that's such a broad, important topic.
It is an important topic.
Yes.
And years ago, it was very different. And in a lot of ways, it's easier now than it's ever been. But basically, when we talk about helping retailers and merchants grow their online sales, certainly website traffic is a part of that. There's two very broad topics related to that. One is organic search, or what's known as SEO, so search engine optimization. And the other one is paid search, or what's called SEM, search engine marketing. So that's what I want to talk about today and break those down. So let's start with SEO, organic search.
Yes, please. I really like that you said that a lot has changed, and I think this is where things have really gotten easier.
In a lot of respects, you're right. It used to be quite complicated, and a lot of mumbo jumbo went on behind the scenes, and what was called metadata and all sorts of what later became, had all these funny names about how, nefarious people might be in the background trying to fool search engines. Well, they're just a lot smarter these days. And so luckily, organic search or SEO, really the vast majority of it, there's certainly some edge case things, but the vast majority of it comes down to quality content and active maintenance. So do you have content on your website that represents your business, the people in your business, the products you sell, the services you offer, the community activities you have? Do you have content that is related to that would be interesting to people searching for those things? If you don't, your chances of winning a search, they're almost nothing. Because if I'm searching for bike packing, or if I'm searching for places to ride and insert city name here, and you don't have content about that, if I'm searching for an e-bike or a gravel bike, and you don't have product content or non-catalog article type landing page content for that, your chances of winning those searches is just about nothing, because it's about having content people care about. So if there's a category or a service or any kind of topic that your business relies on to make its living, you should have content about that on your website. And it should be well-written content. And that's different now, again, than it was before. So you can't just pack a bunch of words in there and think you're going to win. You have to have content that is relevant, interesting to people. That is how a search engine is looking at that content. And when people find it, their behavior tells the search engine a lot. So when they get to that bike packing landing page, what do? Do they sit there for a second or two and then leave? That's a bounce. That's not good. Or do they sit there for 45 seconds or a minute and a half and scroll around and click a couple of things and end up in your catalog? That behavior tells the search engine that was relevant content.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the kind of keywords I took away from that for indications of good SEO are relevant and localized.
Yep. Localized. I think you're giving me that word. I don't think I said that, but that is key. Yeah. Because Google, and we keep saying Google, there are other search engines.
Yes.
They just don't matter. So Google is looking at, they want to localize a search, because if you're searching in Detroit, they want to show you things that you can get to in Detroit. So there's an advantage to being a local business in that for sure. So that's the quality content part. The other part of that is active management. You can't just throw the content there and leave it. You've got to do seasonally relevant content. And so if it's, for instance, this time of year, it's holiday oriented, there should be holiday oriented content related to the products and services you offer. If it's in the summer, there should be summer content. If it's whatever it is, it needs to be seasonally relevant and relevant in a lot of other ways too. I mean, you can't just, let's say you think, I saw some kids on BMX bikes. I can probably sell some BMX bikes. You throw some BMX bikes on the website and you don't do anything else about it. And there's nothing else about your business that would suggest you're into BMX bikes. That's going to have very limited chance of success because, again, the search engine is looking at your website and your digital offering much like a person would. And they can tell that that's just not really part of your business because it's just not a relevant part of your business based on the other content on the website. So focus on what you do, focus on what you offer, and make sure that content's there and it's actively maintained, that there's fresh content on a regular basis.
Yeah. We always kind of say a well-maintained website performs best. And I think a lot of that can be summed up to like, merchandising, leading with your homepage. Of course, that's going to be the most important piece. And we hear a lot of people who are like, I think I get merchandising and I know it's important or website maintenance, but like how often? So I think, I would say my rule of thumb would be that hero, that first kind of graphic, within a good, what am I trying to say? With a strong CTA with a specific link destination that's going to be located right underneath your like kind of your banner or your navigation. That lack of sleep is coming for me. That I would swap that out monthly.
Yeah.
The rest of your homepage doesn't mean everything has to change, but critically look at it seasonally.
Yeah.
So every quarter, yeah.
And when things change too. You get a new brand in, you're having a sale, you're supporting an event. When something changes, think about that in relation to, well, if somebody lands on my homepage, which is for everybody's website, the homepage is the most traffic site. If somebody lands on my homepage, how am I going to tell them this new thing happened or I'm supporting this event or I'm part of their community?
Yeah, bringing it back to some of the conversations you have in store. You have someone who walks in, maybe they're a regular customer, maybe they're new. They're like, what's new? What do you have going on?
Yep.
What's a new product? What can you recommend? Those are those type of things. Yeah.
Exactly. I love that too. You're good about bringing that up. Think about your homepage the way you think about the front of your store when people come in, because that really is how they're going to come meet you in a lot of ways. Tell them those same things. There's some other, we'll call it ancillary or off-site activity that does help with organic search because it connects dots. So things like Google My Business, making sure your listing is up to date. Google likes to add things to that business listing. So make sure it's always complete. If you're doing things like posting there or answering questions, that's all good stuff. But do that across your social channels too. So make sure that those things are updated and they're pointing to the right places at the website, because that connectivity just shows that attention to detail. That's part of the active management. So that's the quick rundown of the organic part of things. And again, there's certainly some the last 10% type things that happen out there, but we tend to focus on the not low-hanging fruit, but the things that are the bread and butter of good SEO. But that gets us to paid search. So what happens when the organic part of things, the free part of things, isn't enough? What happens when you want more? And I think when you want more, and just as an example, if you go to Google and you Google something like, where did I put it? If I Google the Continental, which used to be my favorite tire, the Continental GP4000, I'm going to do the 5000 now because I haven't bought those tires in a while and there's a new one. But if you Google Continental GP5000, at least where I am, I see at the top of the page sponsored listings, those little rectangular boxes. Those are shopping ads. Those are paid. Below that there are a couple of organic listings that aren't paid. They're Continental Tires, and Amazon, and Bike Tires Direct. That's it. Those are the organic results specific to that in the body of the page. So there's some things about Reddit and another result down the bottom. It's going to be tough for big brands often to compete organically just because of the brand recognition that they have for their own product. But then if you look off to the right, you see another listing often that I think is tied to the Google business listing. But it depends on, it's not a paid thing. You can get that organically, but it depends on having your data in there. And so those shopping ads, this is what we've had a lot of success with for years, but most recently with the Google local inventory ads, to be able to put even non-shippable products, because historically products had to be shippable for Google product ads. Now you can have the local shopping ads, and those ads are powerful because you can be specific now. Where organic, it's a broader output out there. You're just, here's me, and hopefully the searches have to connect. With paid ads, you can be very specific about, I want to show these things in these places. So it helps you have a lot more intention about putting the products you need to put out there to high intent shoppers. We've talked a lot lately about intent, but if I'm Googling Continental GP 5000 tire, I'm probably getting pretty close to wanting that tire. And that's where these paid product ads come in. Now, there's also awareness ads, what Google calls search ads, search and display ads. And that's more general awareness type thing, bike shops near me, that kind of stuff. But these paid ads allow you to go get that traffic and bring it back to your website.
Yeah, take an active role in getting in front of the folks you want to get in front of. Yeah. And especially I love the Google local ads. I've used those personally because it's going to preference proximity. And really let a local retailer who maybe doesn't have a big kind of like shipping logistics program compete with things like with huge retailers like REI, Backcountry,
Walmart,
by getting their in-store pickup products in front of folks that are in their community.
Yep. And a lot of times people will say, well, okay, there's these big retailers out there. How am I supposed to compete, especially if we're selling the same thing? Well, because of that local preference, and that's where these local inventory ads really matter. Sure, Walmarts can be local, but given a choice, most cyclists would rather come to a bike shop. If you don't, like in this case, there in that search for the GP 5000, there are no local bike shops in those results, paid or otherwise, until I get into the little business-related listings on the right. So there's opportunity there, even though Continental GP 5000 is a Continental product. Continental's going to have a lot of brand recognition. The other, Amazon's going to have a lot of weight in there. If there was a local result in that, a cyclist is going to pick that local result more times than not, and that's where the opportunity lies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the last piece, I said two big areas, but those two areas actually combined to produce this third option lately. So it's not an official option. I think it's an option that's evolved recently, partially because of those Google local inventory ads. Google has a free shopping program. So if you can feed Google your product inventory, then it will you have no choice over what it picks. You have no choice over where it puts it, but it can pick up your products, again, based largely on that locality, and display those in different places. It won't be at the very top where those paid ads are, but in other places, very similar looking ads will display, even from those business listing ads. And all you really have to do is give Google that product information. So that's a third way that it's. I guess it is a hybrid because it's not organic in the sense that it's like an organic result is generally. And it's not paid because you're not paying it, but it does need that inventory that the same paid product ads need. So between those two, and we've seen it move the needle a little bit and help some stores. So you have to set up Google Merchant Center and you have to give it your data. Given that the data part's the easy part if you're a Workstand website client, because it does it for you. Check a couple of boxes and it makes that product data available every day. You do have to set up Merchant Center, which is not easy. It's very difficult. It's cumbersome. But if you can figure that out or let us help, because we have a program where we can do that for a fee, then you can have that hybrid option where it's not costing you anything other than that setup if you pay us to help, or if you figure it out yourself. But it will show up in other places that you don't normally get organic results from.
Yeah, and I really like it because it's not any additional maintenance. You know, if you do the one-time setup fee with us, we'll help you out, get that going. But then as long as you're really maintaining your catalog as if you would anyway, making sure that your POS data is up to date, things are properly mapped on your website, things like that, then it'll keep running smoothly on the Googles too.
Yep. And that's the tech tip, by the way, today.
Oh, I jumped ahead. Sorry.
Enable Google Shopping.
Hey.
And you can see that in settings, marketing, and Google Shopping. It's a couple of little toggles you set up. For the local part, there is additional location information that you have to get in there that you get from the Google side. But we can help with that again. So not hard. It's just a good thing.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I can stress enough how important I think it is, how useful it is. Anyone with any Workstand e-commerce package can utilize it. You don't need to be shipping. Run your business how you're comfortable in a way that's, that works well for you. While being competitive. I think this is a crucial piece.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Please reach out if there's anything that we can help with, expand upon. We have lots of additional resources on everything we talked about. Mark would love to have a conversation with you.
Yes, I would.
But anything from helping you, maybe it is utilizing a paid service that we have, or just making the most of the subscriptions that you are already utilizing.
Yep.
Well, I guess until then, we'll see you around the Workstand.
We'll see you.